Today's sponsor is Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audibletrial.com/SBFVGS. Welcome to Spooky Best Friends Video Game Sleepover, episode 81, our Halloween Spectacular. You're listening to the #1 video game podcast on the internet that features my best friends. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Redding. Joining me is Mike, the Platinum Pumpkinhead Lopez.
What, is that a thing we're doing?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like jazz hands. I don't know how. Well, maybe that's scary.
Ooh, doing this with your fingers is very scary. And David, Trick or Tate.
Hey guys.
I get it.
Oh, are we doing this right now? I'm sorry, I was too busy playing Mario on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, you showboat.
Which just went live. It just went live in New York City right now. It's after midnight and very late.
Yeah.
And so here I am, and I'm no longer playing Mario, apparently. And
Yeah, it's time to podcast.
Yeah,
you gotta prioritize.
Okay. But hey, thank you for that illustrious greeting, Adam. Illustrious Redding.
Ooh, I like it. It's not spooky, but that's okay.
I mean, like, ghosts can be that sometimes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going with.
Also, a bit later in the show, we will be joined by Eric Anderson of Cyan Worlds, the creators of Myst, Riven, Obduction, to name a few. So stay tuned.
Awesome. And Mike, cool. Also, I would like to point out, Adam and I are both wearing our Star Wars themed clothing today.
You didn't tell me. I think I would have pulled from my vast litany of Star Wars merchandise and
you
put
have
something
stuff?
on.
Do you actually have stuff?
No, of course not.
He's got nothing.
I didn't think so. I did want to point out really quick at the top of the show, if you're watching the video version, which this will be the last video version for a little while, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But I have a Nintendo Zapper here from the original NES. And it's just for my and there goes a dinosaur. But
this is the problem. This is the problem with gun violence in America, David.
No, this is not a real gun. It's a light gun. It shoots light. Light doesn't hurt anyone. Tell that to whoever just got dropped.
Yeah.
What?
Light doesn't hurt anyone. Tell
dinosaur. It was a dinosaur. So it's
okay. It was a dinosaur. That's fine. How else are you supposed to deal with dinosaurs?
You like Horizon Zero Dawn, and that game's all about killing dinosaurs. So
but with like bows and arrows. Like
the way God intended,
not with guns.
Oh no! Oh no!
So light never hurt anybody. Tell that to the people of Alderaan.
What is this show even about?
I think it's about Star Wars, right?
Yeah, it's a Star Wars. No. The Spooky Best Friends Video Game Sleepover podcast comes to you every fortnight, with each of us coming to the table to discuss one burning topic from the world of gaming.
Thank you.
But first, what are you playing at?
I mean, it's pretty obvious what I've been playing at just now.
Mario? Super Mario?
I mean, Super Mario.
You're playing some friggin' Super Mario over there.
What's going on? I've been playing some Super Mario here in New York, Brooklyn, in fact. It literally just came out like a few minutes ago, so I have not actually been playing that yet, but by the time you listen to this podcast, I will have been playing Mario.
Yes.
But also I've been playing Destiny 2 on PC, which dropped earlier this week, and it is so pretty. Oh my goodness, 60 frames per second, 1440p, mouse and keyboard controls. I can look like the thing about mouse and keyboard is you can look so much faster.
I can see Mike dying on the inside.
Yeah.
Not only are you talking Destiny, but you're talking about PC gaming.
PC Destiny. He is extra interested. As you can see, he's on his phone right now. So that's great. Anyway, Destiny 2 on PC, glorious.
And you got to play a little bit with the PS4, Mikey.
Oh yeah, I played with our pal Mikey.
That's cool.
And that was really fun. He stayed up until like 9 a.m. to play with me. So
because
like,
he's over.
all night.
He's he's like exactly 12 hours off of our time zone, right? Something like that. So it's like the middle of the night when it's like normal time here in the real world.
In the real world.
In America. In the real world.
Oh, boy. What is this? Should we start over?
Man.
So, let's see. Have I played anything else? I tried Stardew Valley a little bit on my Switch, and I wasn't really feeling that, but mostly because Destiny 2.
I've heard Stardew Valley is great. I mean, I was thinking about maybe picking it up, but
I've heard it's great too, but I only played like the first couple days, and I don't think I played enough to get the hook. So
I've heard it starts a little slow, and you got to really kind of explore the mechanics to really get into it.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I've been playing. Oh, I played Inside, and I streamed it.
Yes, you did.
That's true. I watched that.
And that ending is bonkers.
Yeah, it's so good. So now that you've played it, we gotta get Mike to play it.
Yes.
Oh, I don't need to play it. I've seen it now.
And
you
now
watched the whole thing?
That's how streaming works.
Well, I
You
didn't
watch
know
it
you
ruins
watched
it
the
for
whole
the
thing.
people. This is affecting game sales now.
Now, so
Oh
here's
my
the
gosh.
thing. Why does it ruin it? It's still fun to play.
But
I
now
don't
he
know how it
knows.
ends, David.
Now he knows how
What's
it
the
ends.
point?
Also, he knows all of the different.
And the
Puzzles.
solutions to all the puzzles.
Well,
He's
then
got 'em
you would
memorized.
you could platinum that game so fast now. You don't know where all the secrets are, by the way. I only found 3. So
We still got
I guess that's fair.
do a spoiler cast with Eric on that.
I
one.
agree.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
I guess we'll just leave Mike out of that.
Eric Kruger, that is.
Right? Yeah, Eric Kruger. I mean, I guess if Eric Anderson wants to come back, he could.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what else are you playing, Michael?
Oh yeah, Mike. How about you?
Oh, what else am I playing? Because I haven't said anything yet. But
Yeah,
that's-
what else though? I mean, Destiny
what
2,
else?
but what else?
Outside of playing David's stream of Inside, what else are you playing?
I
Well,
see.
I also played Mario Odyssey. I mean,
Oh.
you got exclusive rights on. I played it like last week, but whatever.
You played it at Target though, right?
I did play it at Target. Yeah, they had a little kiosk, and I got to hop
Wait,
in.
so why did you have to blow it? It was behind closed doors demo.
Well, talk to this guy over here.
It was technically behind Target's closed doors. It was a very industry insider thing to be able to
Right.
do, Mike.
Oh man,
It's very true. So,
What'd you think?
I played it for like 15 minutes or so, and
You've played
like
more than me, so I need to hear.
I'd say within about the first like 10 seconds, I was like, oh, it's Mario 64, but like newer.
But that's a good thing, right?
I think if you're like still super into Mario 64 and you've been waiting for one of those kind of games to come out, then yeah, absolutely. I think. This is
why wouldn't you still be into one of the best games ever? You're still into Chrono Trigger.
It's really good. That's a good game.
So is Mario 64.
Well,
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
There's that.
No, it is.
No, I mean, I think people are going to like that game a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's already getting rave reviews, right? I mean, IGN gave it a 10. Polygon gave it a 9.5 today. Today being the Thursday, the 26th.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I think it's already dethroned Breath of the Wild on Metacritic.
Right.
yeah, which is so Mario is the only company that can one up. I'm sorry, Nintendo's the only company that can one up Nintendo, I guess.
Apparently. So, what else you playing, Mike?
Well, I picked up The Witcher 3, the complete edition. It was on sale on
Haven't
PSN
you already
this
beaten
week.
that game?
I have already beaten that game, but this is the complete edition, David. It has
is.
2 huge DLC packs I've never played before.
Yeah, I'm just playing.
but
I'm
how
playing
many-
the incomplete edition.
How
It's
many
stupid.
hours though of The Witcher 3 do you need to play?
Well, I played it previously. I think to beat it was like 120 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. You need
and
to
I-
play more
I-
of that game now?
I went ahead and just go ahead and start that thing over again.
Oh.
So I'm never playing another game ever again. I got
Apparently
like
not.
1,000 hours of The Witcher 3 to play. So,
Oh
Because
my
you have the
gosh.
expansions and everything now, right?
yeah, it comes with Hearts of Stone and what's the other one? The Blood and Wine,
Blood and Wine,
expansion.
yeah.
So I'll probably just be playing that forever now.
Because if there's one thing we knew about The Witcher is that it was too short and needed to be expanded
I
upon.
know,
if it had only been just a
seriously.
few more like side quests that you could have gone on, and I think they solved that problem. So I'm
Yeah,
100% back in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh man. I don't
That's it
understand.
for me.
So yeah, I've been playing so much Cuphead.
Oh, yeah.
Loving that game to death.
I like it.
We've beaten the first 2 worlds and beaten like one of the bosses of the 3rd world. So it's 3 worlds and then the finale, whatever the finale is. So, but yeah, loving that game so much. It's a super excellent game. Brutally difficult. There have been times where I've sworn in front of my children while playing Cuphead.
Oh my god!
Usually try not to do such things.
Wow.
But,
I'm scandalized at him.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's worth it. If they start, dropping F-bombs left, right, and center, worth it. Cuphead's awesome.
Oh man.
And then let's see. Oh, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Been playing a bunch of that.
Wow. Yeah.
I finally got,
it got its hooks.
It got its hooks into me. So yeah. I've played probably about 8 hours of it now. So
okay.
I'm definitely still basically nowhere.
Yeah.
So sure. I still am scratching the surface, but I'm really, really liking it. And then I also picked up, in the spirit of spooky games, I picked up Little Nightmares, which
cool.
Yeah, which is a game that looked really cool, and then it got great reviews, but it just, at the time it came out, I was just swamped with other games and other stuff going on.
And it wasn't Halloween either, so like, what
it wasn't
were they
Halloween
thinking?
yet, and so I looked on my Xbox One, and lo and behold, I had like $15 of credit on there. So
just
I was like,
just there.
I plunked down $5 extra. And there you go, Little Nightmares. It's mine.
Yeah.
So I have not started that yet, but by the time this comes out, I will have played it. So
yeah, it looks like Tim. Oh, okay, you haven't played it yet, but it looks like Tim Burton-esque. And I actually found out that they're making a TV show based on that game now.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
But the gameplay itself is kind of similar to Inside or Limbo. From what I've seen, and also, if you recall, Tim Seray highly recommended it. So I was like,
that's right. I forgot about
who
that.
Who am I to fly in the face of Tim Seray?
Yeah, Tim Seray, he knows what's up. So.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I've been playing. A little bit of SNES Classic as well. What else? I think that's about it. That's about it for this fortnight. But yeah, it's been mostly Cuphead, and Zelda. Those two. But yeah. Are you guys ready for the Are you guys ready for the SBFVGS fortnightly news wrap up?
No, what? I don't understand. It has never been called that. It never will be called that.
David, why are you never ready for this segment?
I'm ready for the segment, but it's not called whatever that was. It's called the news.
A sharp one.
It was short.
He put some stank on that one.
Oh, did I?
Sure did.
I didn't mean to do that. That's gross.
So, the news. There.
Almost.
So, got it. Nailed it.
I'm pretty proud of you, but not quite right.
Nailed it. So, remember, you can submit news stories for discussion on the show at our subreddit, sbfvgs.reddit.com. Let's see. Who did it? Who was good?
Who done it?
A Monopoly Loser.
Oh yeah, Monopoly Loser. I don't know.
I love that name.
I'm not sure who you are, but thank you for posting. That was super awesome.
So Monopoly Loser has posted the news that EA has closed Visceral. Now this story has been omnipresent, basically. So right. I don't want to beat it too much into the ground.
Although we haven't talked about it yet.
We haven't talked about
now,
it.
But
this is last week, or I guess a week and a half ago now. By the time
it was right after we recorded or something like that. Yeah,
and it was a gut punch, I think, across the industry.
Oh my gosh,
especially with a lot of people right now, kind of going through. I know we have a couple listeners who just played through. Dead Space, in the spirit of the season, and Visceral just getting shut down like that is sad, and especially in light of Amy Hennig, her involvement. This thing was probably going to be an amazing game for Uncharted fans.
Yeah, it was going to be Star Wars, but Uncharted style. Which that's the perfect, because Uncharted is actually kind of sort of it's a lot like Indiana Jones, which is another George Lucas idea. So they all kind of come from that same the serialized movie stuff from the 50s and 40s and 60s and whatever.
At high adventure.
Yeah, like the pulpy good guys, bad guys. So it would have been it would have been a pretty fun game. And EA's like, you know what? We can't sell loot boxes in this. Up into the table.
That's basically what everyone's saying is like, they're going to make this into like a Destiny-like or a, whatever it is. But, I did want to put kind of a positive spin on it. And something we talked about a little bit in the Discord is if there is a Destiny-type persistent world, shared world shooter type game in any universe, like the Star Wars one for me is kind of appealing. Like I wouldn't mind hopping in and just going to Star Warsy locations and doing cool stuff.
Yeah, however, that sounds pretty cool. But Amy Hennig.
But I know. So Amy, like here's what I'm hoping. Here's best case scenario, and it probably won't end up being this, but just to put a positive spin on this thing, I was thinking about what if they pivoted the design as they say they're wanting to do, right? And they have all these super great like handcrafted missions basically, or chapters probably in an Uncharted type game, right? But you take that well fleshed out, handcrafted, really polished section, and you make that like a Mass Effect story mission, right? So you have this like you get a little bit more RPG in there and a little bit more shared world. Maybe it's the best of all three worlds. That would be ideal, right? If you could go and you're in this world and you go pick up a mission and now it's this highly handcrafted, amazing experience when you go to do the mission. Like that to me, I could get behind something like that.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but I'm pretty sure with this announcement came the revelation that Amy Hennig is no longer on the project, right? Because their whole studio shut down and she was part of the studio.
So Visceral shut down, and there was a statement that EA is in talks with Amy to see, where she's going to land.
Right.
Okay.
So my gut tells me she's probably like, nah, I'm going to walk.
Yeah.
But
I would be so gutted anyway.
It stinks, right? Because it seems very familiar. It seems like a lot like what we heard with Uncharted 4. Amy Hennig working on that, and Naughty Dog at some point saying, we think we want to shift a different direction.
Yeah, not quite the same. Like I don't think Naughty Dog wanted to make it.
I don't think it's
online or whatever. Yeah,
I agree. It's just like, well, here's another like, and at least I still got Uncharted 4, but I think it's one of those things. Seeing her work on this project and having someone say, we think we want to pivot things a little bit, and then she jumps off the project. What I assume is like kind of creative reasons. She has a vision for what she thinks this is.
Yeah,
and if it doesn't line up, then it makes sense. But to kind of see it happening again, like now with the Star Wars game, it's like, man, this is a bummer.
Yeah, it is. And
it's been
I don't
so
want
long since we've had a game from her now.
Yeah, she's super talented. I hope that her influence and her work on this thing is still felt when you play the final product. But God knows when we're gonna get that, right? They said it's gonna be probably at least a couple years out now at this point. So
sure.
Anyway, so moving right along, this one's submitted by David J. Tate. Ooh,
who's that? He sounds very handsome.
He sounds like a handsome, eligible bachelor to me.
He sure does. Man, I should slide into those DMs real quick.
So, VentureBeat has reported the Super NES Classic outsold the Switch, the PS4, and the Xbox One in the past month.
Yeah, in the last month, yeah.
That's pretty wild. I mean, it was a pretty hot commodity.
And in a lot of ways, it makes sense because it's only $80 compared to
$80. Yeah,
the cheapest other one on that list is $299, right?
Yeah, the Switch. I mean, or unless you're getting that Mario bundle, that's like $380, I think.
How is that in any way a deal?
It comes with it's like there's not a price break at all. It's the Switch, which is $299, the game, which is $60, and a carrying case, which was already $20. So.
Not a deal, just a bundle.
Not a deal. They're just all in one box. So, okay. Anyway,
sure.
Just buyer beware.
Okay.
But anyway, but yeah, that's a cool story though. I'm glad they were actually able to crank out enough to hit this because we didn't see that story for the NES Classic. You couldn't buy one, Yep.
So far, it's looking pretty good. And we heard that there's going to be more shipments of SNES Classics coming in the next week or so. So
yeah, it finally. Well, I mean. I'm going to say this, but it sounds like I'm bagging on Nintendo, but I root for Nintendo, right? Yeah. I mean, like, so, with Zelda.
Adam and I, you're there. We root for Nintendo, and Mike just wants them to die.
I don't think I've ever said that.
Mike is the grumpy Gus who hates every Nintendo game and wants...
Maybe I'm someone who loves them so much that I've needed to separate myself until they're in a better place.
No, though, Mike, I gotta say, I highly recommend that you personally get a Switch because, and hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out, Mike.
I'm listening.
Because it has become the...
He's so rude.
I forget. This is all video now. I can't get away with it.
No, because the Switch has become what the Vita once aspired to be.
It's true.
It's this AAA machine that also has a ton of indies. It's a great handheld. Even if you only ever used it as a handheld, it's a fantastic purchase.
It is the Vita, but good.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's how I
the Vita. The Vita is still better.
Still very good.
Just no one's making any games.
So if I go to a store today and I buy a Switch, can I get Chrono Trigger on it?
No, not yet. You will be able to at some point.
Okay.
But however, once they do enable Virtual Console, you'll be able to get the SNES version of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And that with no load time. See, I gotcha.
Yep. He gotcha.
Mike.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And in the meantime, you could play the amazing Zelda, the apparently excellent Mario game, which I'm sure it will be, but I haven't played it yet. You'll be able to play, let's see, I don't know, lots of other games.
Yeah.
I'm just too tired. It's 1 a.m., Mike.
Yeah, sure.
Don't judge me. It's 1 a.m.
All right, so Night in the Woods, one of my favorite games of the past few months.
Oh, yeah.
Great, fantastic game. Night in the Woods coming to mobile platforms next year.
That's
pretty
fascinating.
Cool, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have basically I was just I was on the YouTube. I saw a little news blurb about it. I said that's it was IGN who reported it. So yeah, that's definitely exciting. I think whatever gets that game to a broader audience, because that easily playable on something like an iPad or an iPhone,
for sure.
And it's gorgeous. I think it's a perfect fit. It's got this eye-catching art style. So yeah, more people need to play Night in the Woods. If you haven't played it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that Switch version.
I think they're doing a sale either right now or very soon. They're doing a Halloween sale.
It's 1666, and the 3 6s are like bolded. It's actually kind of hilarious.
That's the devil's work. That's the devil's work.
But it's a Steam sale, right? Fun fact: when I was a kid growing up, my address was 1666. King Street, though. So we kind of balanced the devil with the king, who, like the king of kings, So
you want to track down David's old haunts. There's his address.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. If you want to go see what that house was like, it's fine. I don't care. I don't live there anymore. It doesn't bother me.
So, all right. Anyway. So this one's submitted by our own Michael. Our own Michael Taco Douglas.
Oh, Taco Douglas. Okay.
Yeah. The Kinect is finally dead. Finally dead. Really officially dead. According to Polygon.
Breaks my heart. How? I don't understand how future generations are gonna, appropriately play Just Dance games on Xbox hardware now.
We never got that Star Wars game that they talked. You remember that Star Wars game that they showed off?
Yeah.
We never got
the lightsaber one.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
If you're watching the screen, you will see footage of that never released game right now.
Wait, which way is it? Is it down from me?
No, it's just on the screen. We don't see us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Well,
technology,
excluded, but fine.
All right, and the last one I got here. Oh no, I have two. I got two more. Xbox Games with Gold is getting Tales from the Borderlands in November.
That's really cool. That's a really good game.
It's amazing.
That's a great game. Also, a Trackmania Turbo, which sounds kind of like almost like a Excite Bike type thing where you can create your own tracks, do lots of stunts. I haven't played that myself, but and then also on the 360, which of course are backwards compatible, Nights into Dreams, the old Sega game.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, the Sega Saturn platformer from '96, and then also Deadfall Adventures, which is an action adventure game set in the Alan Quatermain universe.
Sure.
Okay.
As
whatever you
we
say.
of course, the Alan Quatermain universe, which we all know and love so
I'll
much.
know it's my favorite universe,
It's
other than most of the other ones.
Star Wars nothing. It's all about Alan Quatermain.
Oh my goodness.
And then this breaking news, Adam is going to be so broke.
Oh yeah, what is this all about? I just saw that on our...
According to Metacritic, Super Mario Odyssey sitting at 97.
Oh.
Assassin's Creed Origins sitting at 84. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus at 90.
Now we're talking.
Oh, it went up to 90.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This was a screen cap from earlier today.
Okay.
So it may have fluctuated. Some of these may have moved a little. But yeah. Oh man, I'm going to be broke.
So
It's
I guys,
all
I
the
have
games.
a conundrum and I need you guys to help me solve it, okay?
Okay. All right. Mhm.
I really, really want to play
the
Wolfenstein
new Wolfenstein.
2.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
Yes.
That is what I was going to say. But there's a Switch version coming next year. And I feel like Wolfenstein 2 is not the sort of game I want to buy twice, because I'll probably play it one time and then I've beaten it and that's it, you know? It's not like there's no reason to keep coming back to it, really. So do I wait for the Switch version that does not have a release date yet?
Absolutely not. No.
No, you get it on PC and play it on your insane rig, where it will look incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do. Or
And we're
if you
definitely
wanna-
going to be talking about it for Game of the Year awards. So, I mean,
Or you can play it on PS4 if you just want to be able to
play it without having to mess around with drivers. Yeah, absolutely.
I never have to mess
first
around
time
with
try, it's
drivers.
gonna be
I don't
great.
know what you're talking about, Mike. I don't know what, like, it sounds like last time you played on PC, like there was no plug and play, which has been around since like 95. So
yeah, but did you reinstall the driver, David?
I've never had to reinstall
How's your
a driver.
DirectX doing?
I don't even know what that is really.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I know what it is. I know
But
there's
now
DirectX and there's
who's the
OpenGL.
PC gamer, David?
Did you get
I don't.
Did
See,
you
that's
get
my
the-
point is I don't have to know about these things. It just works now.
Oh,
Yeah.
heavens.
GeForce,
Well.
GeForce, when you plug one into your computer, you install the GeForce experience, and it basically sets everything up for you. Every game, you just run it through GeForce experience. It sets all the settings to what runs best on that card. You don't have to worry about anything.
This section of the show brought to you by NVIDIA.
Yeah. Oh, guys, NVIDIA GPUs are where it's at. So, hey, I
All
wouldn't
right.
mind a sponsorship.
Yeah, there you go.
NVIDIA,
There you go.
give me that 1080 Ti.
Just chilling it out. No, David, we're faithful to Audible.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
This is Audible.
Are we at the ad part?
No.
Oh.
So anyway,
It got weird there. You stopped.
Yeah, you just stopped.
I just wanted to let it marinate,
Okay.
let it sizzle, as
Sizzle.
Michael Jackson would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
this is a very spooky episode, you guys.
It certainly
Yeah.
is.
It's
So
a very
spooky.
spooky. Even though there's been some levity, but we're about to take it down.
Oh,
We're about to take it down serious and scary style.
down
Okay.
down to Chinatown.
Down to Chinatown.
Oh dear. Oh my.
So,
Oh my.
are you guys ready for the tweets?
I don't know. You just hyped them like they were going to be really scary. So probably
They're going to be
Yeah.
scary. They're
So-
going to be scary.
I'm probably
Mike?
not anymore. Then
Take
Ready.
it away.
Okay. You guys want to start with community question?
Sure.
Let me try that again. Let me try that with English words. Do you want to try the community question?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, let's start with the community.
I like it.
Oh,
Okay, community question for this episode is, what is the best spooky game you've played this year? Now, for me, this is easy because I don't play very many spooky games.
Mhm.
So I played Until Dawn this year. It's about the only spooky game I really played.
okay.
But I enjoyed it. So it
There
was
you
the
go.
best one I played this year.
Okay.
What about you? What about you, David? You're part of the community.
I sure am part of the community, and I've played a bunch. I played Layers of Fear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I played Resident Evil 7
yeah.
in PSVR, and I played Inside. I think that's it.
Didn't you? What was that other one you played with the real spooky dude with the red eyes following you around the house?
Oh, I don't remember the name of that one. That was a code.
Saint something.
Yeah, Mikey gave me that one. And, yeah. And so yeah. So I think if I had to pick, I think Resident Evil 7. I played it in PSVR. It was really spooky. I screamed one time on stream, very embarrassingly. And so
man,
that would be it.
Yeah, I remember playing that intro section in VR.
I'm gonna stop you, Adam. Like, huh. Hang on, Adam. Your image is completely frozen, so I don't want to keep going.
Gonna have to edit this.
You're just sitting there like this.
Oh,
we look very swarmy.
So can you just disable and re-enable your video really quick?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's back. It's back. Okay, so
hold on.
Go ahead and tell me what you
had the PlayStation VR on. This creature is like all up in my grill, all in my face, and I was like, doing one of these. Like, it was terrifying.
It's very spooky.
It's really good, but in the end I preferred the higher detail level, in 2D with no VR.
I preferred the fully immersed.
No, and
Grandma
I get that
is looking me right in the face with her.
Grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma's so creepy.
But I do have to give Inside bonus points for just the most insane ending I've ever seen in a game. So yeah, how about you, Adam? What was the spookiest game you played?
So I also played Inside and Resident Evil 7 this year. What else? Any other spooky games I played? I think it's down between those two.
Okay.
I gave both of them 5 out of 5 burritos.
True. I need to give Inside a rating, huh?
Yes, you do.
Because I beat it. I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 pizzas.
All right.
Fair enough.
I enjoyed it. I kind of wish it was a little bit longer, and I probably won't ever play it again. So a game that I'll never play again, I tend to not give like a 5 out of 5. Like the games that keep me coming back, as much as I hate to say this, the games that keep me coming back are the ones that I'm going to tend to give higher ratings. I know
you're the problem.
I am part of the problem. But
Amy, I'm tweeting Amy right now about this.
No,
I'm telling her on you.
She's still one of my favorites. She'll always be one of my favorites.
You hate her.
No,
and it's your fault. That this
I don't hate her. I love her games. Amy, if you ever listen to this, which I'm sure you won't, but if you do, I love your games.
Oh man, yeah. So I guess I would have to answer Resident Evil 7. It was just longer. It was, but Inside.
Man, it's a real short story every time, huh?
Inside. Sorry, it's back.
Oh wow!
Back to Inside.
I was gonna say 2 out of 3 SBFs agree, but apparently not. And Adam's taking a real long sip of some drink.
Anyway, so Michael, you take it away.
Take it away.
Yeah. So from the community, we got Joseph Grimm. He said, just finished the first Dead Space, which is I'm inserting in here. I've cut off his tweet very rudely. That's the very best Dead Space. So,
no, the second one
for sure.
Definitely the second one.
No, the first
one's better.
No, yeah. I 100% disagree. The second one is so much better.
Okay, well, it's 2 against 1, so
I guarantee you more people think the second one's better.
Well,
2 out of 3 SBFs agree. Dead Space
1. How could you? That was my thing.
So I've just finished the first Dead Space while writing this. Good timing. That in itself is also spooky.
Yeah,
that is good timing. Gameskeeper Spike.
I think he used to be Gameskeeper Mike.
So it's Halloween, so there you go.
Yes.
RE7, hands down.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a great game.
Russell Biggerstaff, RE7 in VR for about 10 minutes. I know, I'm a baby. So I understand. Quidgy wrote in, and he wrote in Hellblade, and this is on my list. I really want to play Hellblade.
I really want to play it too. It looks
I want to play it so bad. I want to be able to pronounce the title as well, but I'll work my way to both of those.
Yeah, is it Senua? Senua's Sacrifice?
I don't even know.
I have no idea.
Because I remember on a previous podcast that I said Sueña, which is
Which is very
I think
fancy.
it's very Spanish pronunciation of it.
Really quickly, guys, Metacritic, Dead Space 86, Dead Space 2 87. Sorry, sounds like the majority of people agree with me. Just saying. By 1 point.
By 1 point. Oh, you can't argue. Well, whoa. Does Wikipedia have anything to say? Because we all know that Wikipedia cannot be questioned.
Wikipedia made me lose the whole Horizon Zero Dawn like Zelda argument.
It's very true. JJ wrote in and said, seeing as though I didn't finish Little Nightmares yet, I pick Inside.
Oh, okay.
To the games we were talking about. So
good game.
Some solid picks here. NTFTT Pod wrote in and said PT for nostalgia.
Oh,
I guess
PT.
that means they've replayed the game this year.
Okay, yeah. Oh gosh, it's such a terrifying game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game was the most scary of all the games.
Yeah, I didn't play it this year, but I gotta say that's probably the scariest thing I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
Spooky
Definitely.
Maya.
Oh.
Spooky Maya wrote and said, The Evil Within 2, beautifully unsettling levels with spot-on sound design, plus compelling narrative.
Yeah, I've heard really good things.
Been seeing a lot of people playing that, a lot of praise for it.
Yeah.
So.
I've heard people saying that, like, people that didn't like the first one really like the second one. Like Polygon's like that. They didn't. The person who reviewed the first one didn't like it, but loved the second one.
Yeah, I've kind of heard that a little bit too. That makes sense.
So that's cool.
Brad Kabowski. I think I said that right. If I didn't, well, that's how it works.
There's not a whole lot you can do about it.
No, sure can't. It's my show. Wrote in Resident Evil 7. Judge Greg wrote in
quite a few votes for Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, it seems like to be the winner if I had to pick one. Which I
we've
don't.
got 2 left here, so I'll get through these. Judge Greg wrote in Oxenfree, which I haven't played Oxenfree. Is that?
I haven't even heard of Oxenfree.
I've definitely heard of Oxenfree.
It's an adventure game. It was one of the free games with gold last month, I want to say, on Xbox.
Huh.
I downloaded it, have not played it yet. It's the story of my life. But I definitely am looking forward to that one.
I didn't know spooky?
I didn't know it was spooky. I thought it was more just like, like intriguing.
That's what I thought too, but I haven't played it, so I could be totally wrong.
Maybe it's spooky.
I can't help but notice it uses the exact same font as Night in the Woods for its text. So that's interesting. And like speech bubbles and everything. So that's interesting. Doesn't look that spooky from the gameplay I'm watching, but we'll have to take his word for it.
Sure.
I'm terrified.
And then last but not least, Rodrigo wrote in and said Resident Evil 7 PSVR is by far spookiest.
Oh my goodness, so spooky.
So a lot of Resident Evil picks.
Yeah.
It's such a good game.
It was just so nice to have a series that I love, like, return to greatness, you know?
I know. Usually you don't see it, right?
Yeah,
You usually see once a series goes downhill, it's like good. It's never coming back. You know, like
right.
And especially we saw Silent Hill kind of go that way. It went down. Like the first few games great, and then it went downhill, and then there was
Silent Hill.
There went down Silent Hill. Then there was hope there with Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro, and that went down, and so we got PT out of that.
Right.
So, but we never did get that new Silent Hill. So it's just really cool that they took a cue from that and managed to pull off what Silent Hills was about to pull off, but in the Resident Evil franchise.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's true.
So
there you go.
Okay, so moving into Twitter questions proper.
Mm-hmm.
The first one up is from the Origami Killer.
Oh my gosh.
Origami Killer writes in, trick or treat? And it doesn't matter what you answer because I have 3 would you rathers.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say treat.
Treat, of course. Well, I don't want to get tricked. I like treats. So there you go.
I mean, you're in for some would you rathers. Let's knock these out. It'll be fun.
All right.
All right, first one's up. Would you rather get baby carrots or raisins for Halloween?
Definitely raisins. They're
raisins,
delicious.
Right? For sure. I love raisins.
They're so good.
Raisins,
although there is a stigma.
Nature's candy.
There is a stigma about getting raisins when you go
candy.
trick-or-treating. Like, you want candy, not raisins. So I think that's where
But if I go up to that house and they're tossing either a box of raisins or a little baggie of baby carrots, like just passing them out willy-nilly, I'm praying for the raisins.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, and we talked about this the other day, Mike, how I wonder if people's hatred of raisins really stems from having to dig around in those sticky little boxes as a kid.
Yeah, that is fair.
Because I never liked that part. I was the kid just tapping furiously on the bottom of it.
The trick is
if I could get that final raisin.
Flick the box until the raisins come loose and you pour them in your mouth.
And that's what you do.
Yeah, like a genius.
Why did they come in those boxes?
It was the cheapest.
I guess.
It was the cheapest. Okay, next up. Would you rather feel like you're being watched and seeing something out of the corner of your eye, or periodically feeling something brush your skin, only to find nothing is there?
Ugh.
Oh.
I guess I'd rather feel like I'm being watched.
I think I'd rather feel like I'm being watched because I stream by choice as it is.
David loves to be watched.
I love to be watched. Watch me. Watch me, guys.
Well, there you go.
There I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike?
Last one's up.
Wait, Mike.
What's that?
Don't you have to answer these?
Oh, yeah, no, watch. Like, I don't care if I can see you, but you guys watch. Drink it in.
But if you touch me and then phantom away, no, I'm gonna die.
Like,
that's true.
Maybe if you're like really good at back scratches.
No, that's not what this is.
The phantom.
Because the thing is, anytime anything phantomly like sets off like my spidey sense, right?
It. You have to kind of be expecting it.
Well, and anytime anything like lightly brushes past me, I just assume spiders.
Yeah. Okay.
I just walk into a spider web. I know it, and
There's no good scenario where you're being touched by a phantom.
Okay, well, finish the sentence.
I had to finish that sentence.
Oh my. Okay.
My.
Oh, wait. Do we have George Takei here? Is he here?
Stop it. We can't do this right now.
Wow. Oh, Owen Wilson's here too.
Halloween boss stage. It's the last one up. Our Halloween boss stage is a Marry, Hug, Kill. The Origami Killer really brought it. So
yeah.
Marry, Hug, Kill, Freddy Krueger, Jason, and Jigsaw. And the answer here is very, very easy.
Now, is this Jason from Heavy Rain?
Jason?
That doesn't seem likely.
From the Origami Killer? Not Jason from Heavy Rain?
Not Jason, because Jason's a little boy, and I don't think there should be an option to marry him.
Oh, yeah, no, but you can hug him.
David,
yeah, but
gross.
It's on the table. It's gross, David.
Fine.
This is America.
Okay.
We don't do that kind of thing.
All right. So what were the choices again?
I'm so disappointed.
we certainly have to kill Freddy Krueger, right?
Well,
no, absolutely
Freddy Krueger,
not. Okay, Freddy Krueger,
and
Jason, and Jigsaw.
Jigsaw. Okay.
Yeah.
You marry Jigsaw.
No. No.
He's just the worst and the creepiest.
I don't want any of them.
Okay, here's the thing. I get maybe not great to look at, but Freddy Krueger is at least he's got personality.
He seems like he's funny sometimes.
He does seem like he's funny, right? And I bet you the absolute best back scratches you've ever had in your life.
You know, you can get over looks. Adam, looks fade as it is.
Yeah,
you know?
I got married. I mean, anyone can.
I don't know if I could. Well,
I think I'm with you, Mike. I think Freddy Krueger you marry.
He's got the back scratcher.
Yeah, oh man, could you imagine just a gentle?
He was rocking the fedora before everyone hated it.
He's got great taste in sweaters.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but he has a horribly burned out face.
But Adam, like I said, looks fade. Why are you so focused on the visual?
Yeah, you seems very shallow, Adam.
Yeah,
I am very shallow when it comes to marrying Freddy Krueger.
I mean, one of your options is Jason.
Who knows? He could be devilishly handsome under
there.
But
he's never going to take the mask off, so how would you know?
And plus, I don't really dig people in overalls, so...
Wait, hold on. Maybe the mask works like a veil, though. He'll lift it up.
On the wedding day.
The mask.
You lift Jason's mask on the wedding day, gosh. And there you have a lovely Tom Selleck face beneath.
That's very optimistic, and you have no way to prove that that's what's under there.
Okay, so
I'm
going to kill Jason. And
I'm talking.
So you've already messed up. You can't kill Jason. So
I'm talking Quigley Down Under era Tom Selleck. Is underneath that Jason mask.
I get it. When you say Tom Selleck, we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
So you kill Jigsaw.
Yeah, he's
what is
just
Jigsaw
the
gonna
worst.
do? Can he even
Nothing,
move?
right?
He can't
Right.
even move.
Is
I feel
Jigsaw
like-
going to get like a regular job and support me? No. So
I think
What?
Jigsaw, and call me superstitious, but I think Jigsaw is going to put me in some awful death trap room.
But do you
and I'm
ever
gonna have
see
to,
him ever do anything?
And I'm going to
he's
have to
gonna
like
constantly be
chew
sitting in
off-
front of the TV every day. I'm going to get home from work and he's going to be sitting there playing a game. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, I need you to connect with me on a personal level.
Playing a game.
Okay, yeah, we got to kill Jigsaw.
Yeah, so Jigsaw's done. And not even an option.
Dead. And I guess I'm marrying Jason with the
that's so
hopes that Tom Selleck face underneath.
You have like a 50-50 shot, I guess.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
and then and Freddy, you can get a hug, but you're out.
I think that's a dangerous game to not marry Freddy and go for the hug. I don't think it's going to end well for you.
he
I
really
say-
wanted to give you his heart.
Yeah, I say you go Freddy. You marry that personality.
I think my
and that
cat made another
fedora.
appearance in the podcast.
Oh.
He was on last episode.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Jason seems like a good hugger.
Yeah. I think so.
Very strong hugs, I bet.
All right.
You'd feel very safe.
Well, we figured
I
it
do.
out, I think.
I think so. I think Adam's a little mixed up on this one, but I get the logic, so I'm not going to fault him for it.
All right. Okay, what's next? What do we
Man, I
have?
don't even know. Holy smokes. What do I do after that?
We've got. I see one from NTFTT Pod that you put in our email.
That's true. This is a pretty good one. NTFTT Pod wrote in and said, "Which one of you would be the worst ghost in the afterlife?"
I think I already have the answer. It would be me.
You think so? Okay.
And all I would say is,
Show your work.
and that's all I do the whole time I'm haunting
That's
you.
really good, though.
I 100% agree that you would be the worst ghost.
Okay.
Although Mike strikes me as maybe the most mischievous ghost friend.
He would probably prank you all the time.
Here's what I would say. As a ghost, I'm not going to work all the time. I just don't do that.
Yeah.
So
Yes, you
I'm
do.
gonna-
Now,
gonna
you
have
work
to-
all the time.
This is a very special week for me. I'd have to pick like a time and a place. Like ghosts have routines, right? That's the thing. Oh, it's always the creepy lady on the stairs.
Yeah, that's
or
true. Yeah.
The knock at 3 a.m. Like,
Yeah, what would be your thing? What's your trademark?
what would be my trademark?
Because we've established David's trademark is just the worst.
It would
super
drive
bad.
anyone insane that I haunted, basically.
I think I would probably just hang out in the bathroom a lot. It's already the most uncomfortable time for people, because if you go to take a shower, right, you always assume, yes, murderer behind the shower curtain every time.
Right. Yeah, of course.
And now also sometimes ghost.
Yeah.
So here's what my ghost would do. I would hide out behind cardboard cutout stand-ups of Arnold Schwarzenegger in video stores.
Okay, I like it.
Or Best Buys or what have you. Whenever there is like a Terminator stand-up, right? There I am behind it.
Right.
And I'm going, hello, command, get over here, buy my new movie.
See, you sound like you'd be the best ghost. So
I would,
It's very good.
that would be so much fun.
People would be into that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
We got a question from Moof.
Yes.
Mix it up and go with some video game related questions.
probably a good idea.
With downgraded third-party games coming to the Switch, do you
yes.
think that this will hurt Nintendo, or do you think that the portability of the Switch will trump the fact that there are better versions out there?
I 100% think that portable versions, like when Mass Effect Andromeda came out, all I could think of for some reason was, man, I just wish I could play this on my Switch.
Yeah.
Because I think I'd gone on a bunch of vacations right around that time. And I couldn't bring my PS4 with me everywhere I went, so it would have been great to just pop in on my Switch here and there and do a couple missions and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I personally do not care if, it's like a downgraded polygon and the view distance isn't quite as far and all that stuff. I as long as I can play it anywhere, I don't really care.
Yeah, I feel like for Doom or Wolfenstein, as long as it's a good port, right, and it runs, well enough, it doesn't have to be screaming 4K 60 frames a second. for me to enjoy it. Like I've played many games at 30 frames or sub 30 frames and enjoyed them. But for me, yeah, I think the portability absolutely trumps a lot of the downgrades. Even though I did tell you, this is completely going against what I told you to do with Wolfenstein, which is to play it,
It sure
on your
does.
PC.
On your PC, yeah.
I was going to
But
bring
I'm
that
just
up.
saying, I'm just
Actually,
saying
don't wait though. That's what
personally.
you're saying. We're just saying don't wait for the
I'm just saying,
wait.
yeah, don't wait. That's
Sleep on
more.
it.
That's less of an issue of downgraded performance and more of an issue of just play it now.
Right. If
kind
it was
of thing.
available everywhere day one, then I don't
Yeah.
care where you buy it, just buy it.
Yeah. So, but for me, I just know, like, I have that same feeling, David. Like every time some new game comes out, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could play that on the Switch, because then I could just play it in the van pool. I could play it on my lunch hour.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely increases your ability to play it wherever. So yeah.
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 Cool. Okay. I've got a good one.
Okay.
I got a really good one here from Necro Omnom Icon.
Oh.
Let me try that again. I can do that better. The Necro Omnomicon.
Yeah. There we go.
See, now the joke works because I can read better.
who is really hypersyntax, who I've played Destiny 2 with. He's a great guy.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Ooh.
Now, before you answer, for me, this is maybe the scariest question on our whole list.
It is one of the spookiest.
Because if you have a friend that says yes, a hot dog is a sandwich, they're instantly dead to you.
Why, Mike?
Because they're wrong, and it's the worst thing you can say.
Okay. Hey, Mike. Yes.
Okay,
oh my
well,
goodness.
Now the reason this podcast is scary because I have the ghost of David haunting me. Because David's dead to me.
What? Now it has meat in between two pieces of bread. Well, one piece of bread. It's really.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But what are two pieces of bread if not one piece of bread cut in two? You know?
No, that's not how sliced bread works.
Well,
It
so
sure
I'm
is. It's
thinking of-
one piece of bread, and you slice it, and there's
Right.
two.
Yeah.
but that's not that's not a hot dog bun.
Sure
Yeah,
it is.
no, but
you
listen,
can
listen.
easily make
Think
it
of the-
separated if you'd like to. It's the same
Think of the
substance.
Think of the Subway sandwich, right? You have the submarine, if you will. It's one big piece of bread, similar to a hot dog bun, that has been sliced, and it's still adjoined on the one side.
And is that a sandwich?
It is a
no.
sandwich.
No,
Yeah, it is. It
It
sure
very
is.
much.
That's
it very
closer.
Much is a
I would
sandwich.
say that's like a hoagie.
Well, that
sub
a hoagie,
sandwich.
a hoagie is a sandwich.
And as hoagie and a hero in New York City, we call them heroes for some reason.
Why wouldn't they just call them sandwiches if they were sandwiches?
Because we do call them sub sandwiches.
No,
Yeah,
I
so-
think that's different.
No, it's not.
So here's
Like a
the
sub
thing,
sandwich
though.
is like a bad sandwich, like
No.
a subpar.
No.
Now, answer me this, guys.
Yeah,
If you were
go
to
for it.
take that same Jersey Mike's sandwich or whatever and flip it this way, and now the opening is facing skyward.
Okay, I can't see your camera anymore, so
Is
you're gonna
it
have to paint me a word picture.
I can
Okay.
see your camera, Adam. You're right. You're 100% right.
We've taken the sandwich which had the opening parallel to the table. Now we have flipped it 90 degrees, and we have now the opening of the bread is perpendicular to
We have
the
achieved
table.
vertical meat.
Yes. So do you? So anyway,
well,
Oops.
vertical meat.
One of my best, one of my favorite accomplishments or achievements on this show. So anyway, so we have the bread now opening perpendicular to the table. Is it now not a sandwich just because we turned the bread that way?
According to Mike, yes. According to Mike, it's no longer a sandwich. According to rational human beings, it is still a
I think
sandwich.
the important takeaway here is that you're both dead to me. This is now a haunted podcast hosted by your very best living friend, Taco Douglas.
Now, I have to say, though, this question rocked me to my core because I have never thought for a second.
Right, that's how you died. That's
I've
how
never
you died.
thought for a second that a hot dog was a sandwich until this episode.
But it 100% is. Just like a hamburger is also a
it isn't.
sandwich.
Like I can't.
Okay, see, you guys are. This is the devil's work.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, and this is the last thing I'll say on it, that I can't disprove that a hot dog is a sandwich.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say maybe it's a sandwich.
It probably is a
That's
sandwich.
fine. Hot dogs aren't sandwiches. Burgers aren't sandwiches. Let's move
It's
on.
a tiny sandwich, a tiny long sandwich.
Tiny
No.
sandwich.
Tom Titus Hughes wrote in and said, "Do you think we'll get another Until Dawn anytime soon, and an Alien Isolation sequel? Two of the best games this generation."
So
you actually got a Until Dawn sequel, kinda.
It was the PSVR game?
Oh yeah,
Unreal shooter.
What does it have anything to do with the game?
I have no idea.
I don't
Sony's
think it's
like, hey, we own this license. So, what's the new game that we talked about last episode that studio is making?
Oh,
I think it's also PSVR.
yeah.
I have no idea.
I think you're right. I can't think off the top of my head though.
I could look it up.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Adam's looking it up. Okay, good.
The part of the show where we Google things.
I like that you have a little jingle for it.
Ooh, we got a
the
jingle.
part of the show where we Google things.
Ooh, it's nice.
I'll keep working here. I'll workshop it somewhere.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
So the game's called The Inpatient.
That's right. Okay, yes. I remember this one now.
Supermassive has announced it. And this is in that VR reveal list that we talked about last time.
Mm-hmm.
So this one looks a lot like an Until Dawn follow-up.
Okay.
So that's good. I don't. It's not going to have that same title, that same spin, but I'm glad to see them continuing along that path. You know,
Right.
Because it's a really cool space, I'll call it. You know, like you have Quantic Dream, who's making Detroit, which is a very, of course, it's kind of very much in the vein of like Heavy Rain and those games. So. It's cool to see now this company going a different direction, doing it in VR. So I'm really interested to see how that game does, if it's well designed, if it runs well, all that good stuff. So
Yeah,
but
me
yeah,
too.
I think that might be the one. Tom Titus Hughes.
Could be. That's the best answer we've got, I think, right now.
Yeah. Alien Isolation, I don't know how well that game did. I'd have to go look at
Was that the one
numbers
by
for that
Sega?
I
think it
I'm
was.
not sure.
I don't
off the top of my head, I'm
who
not
made
sure.
Alien Isolation. I can't remember.
Here's the part of the show where we Google things.
It's a little too mellow. I gotta jazz it up a little bit. But I think it's getting there.
It's developed by Creative Assembly. Never mind. I don't know what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't sound familiar, but
There was a rumor about Alien Isolation 2, but it was proved to be false. So, yeah, I guess the studio director, Tim Heaton, told GamesIndustry.biz that it was not true. So, that was a game that it had a lot of heat, a lot of hype around it. And I know some people really loved it, but I don't think it performed probably well enough to get a sequel.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. I mean,
it was cool.
It was cool. I played about 30 minutes of it, and I was like, okay, I'm done. But hey, that was really cool. Which is a shame. But also pretty normal for me.
Yeah. Okay. John Crespo wrote in and said, what fictional horror character would be the scariest if they actually existed?
Pennywise.
That's a pretty good one. I am not inherently afraid of clowns, though.
And I kind of thought with it being a games podcast, you'd go with something from a game, but
no, Pennywise.
Now, are we talking Tim Curry Pennywise, or are we talking like modern day guy? I can't remember his name. Pennywise,
Swedish guy, whatever.
Yeah, I feel bad because that seems insensitive to call him Swedish guy.
Yeah, maybe.
And by all accounts, he's done a very good job.
Is he a Skarsgård?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's so hard for me to remember these things.
He's the brother of the sexy Skarsgård from.
Oh, really?
Okay. Oh, so now that seems very mean that you've said that.
The sexy Swedish Skarsgård.
This Halloween episode is full of cruelty.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm trying to think the actually scariest.
It's Bill Skarsgård, and he did a great job as Pennywise. I honestly don't know what's scarier, the new one or the old one. Probably the new one. But really, I'm talking more about the one from the book.
Okay, I've got it, guys.
Fair enough.
Remember that witch from PT?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she is terrifying. She's got that
just
like
the worst.
gash, and she like You know, like
she's real twitchy.
Yeah.
And she gets all up in your face.
She gets right up in your face. If you turn, like, she'll like walk behind you, and if you turn around and look at her, she'll just kill you. Like,
yeah, if there's one thing I hate, it's ghosts that get all up in your face.
Yeah,
right. For sure.
If you look at her on the balcony, she'll kill you. You know, like it's just all these, like, you have to know exactly where you can and can't look when she's around, or you die. So that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well,
I would
can't you
say
just
her.
walk around with your eyes closed? Maybe.
That's a good question. I never tried that in PT.
Try that next time.
Mike, you'd bump your foot on something. You're liable to hurt your foot.
That's also scary.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
you don't want to do that.
But if I bump my foot, I probably won't die. That's not like the automatic reaction.
Well, it depends on how hard you bump it.
Well, you know, Mike, let's be sane about this thing.
My enchanted shin, oh no.
Mike, let's be sane about this thing. You know, like, yeah, if you keep your eyes open, you might look in the wrong spot. The ghost kills you and murders you and takes your soul.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you close your eyes, you are liable to bark your shin on that coffee table.
That does not feel good.
No, it doesn't. And I gotta say, safety first.
I was so happy when we bought an ottoman that was like, it was like all cloth material. It's not just like sharp wood edges anymore.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
forget it. Yeah, don't close your eyes and walk around if you got wood tables.
If you got PT witch lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on this one. Hear me out.
Mm.
Dante from the DMC remake. Probably not
just the worst.
Probably not traditional horror character, but I would be the most terrified.
Oh, that's so funny.
If like I had to deal with that guy in real life, like all the time.
It would just be the most horrible thing.
Yeah, exactly. So next question comes in from Judge Greg and said, if you were all haunted by the ghost of a video game character, who would you choose to haunt your co-hosts? And I'm going to go ahead and just stick with Dante from DMC if I'm choosing to haunt you guys because of your horrible hot dog as a sandwich opinion.
Yeah.
I'm going to haunt you, Mike. Listen,
now you have to deal with that.
Mike, I'm going to haunt you with the Guy Fieri from your VR game.
Oh, yes.
Now,
down.
Let's clarify here. That wouldn't be so haunting for me. He has a very interesting look, and I think he'll eat just about anything. But he seems like a generally very nice guy who would probably barbecue for me. So
yeah, he would.
I'm kind of into this.
For the firefighters.
You know, okay, all right. I got to give it to
California fires.
I got to give. I don't like his TV show, and I don't like his recommendations. But darn it, if he isn't a nice dude,
he's a stand-up dude.
Yeah. I love his TV show. It's one of my guilty pleasures.
And I'm a huge fan of Smash Mouth.
I know. I know that he loves everything. I know that he loves everything, but I love Human Bowser. What can I say? That's what he
Human Bowser.
So video game. So I would definitely have the ghost of Sonic haunt Mike forever.
Just giving him so much 90s dude.
Yeah, checking his stopwatch, tapping his foot whenever Mike's running late.
It would be probably so bad because he can't talk. So,
what if he
can talk in the newer ones?
He can talk, and it's the voice of Steve Urkel as well.
No, that's the cartoon. That doesn't count.
It still counts. It's canon.
Yeah, but Mike. But what if he brought over his creepy human girlfriend?
Oh, yeah, that'd be really creepy and scary.
Would she be a ghost too?
Yeah, maybe.
I assume she'd have to be, right? Well, otherwise, she's just a squatter in my house. And there's things I can do. I can call the police for that.
That's very true.
Yeah, if she's a ghost, then you can't do much.
Now I'm stuck in that situation.
How about you, Adam? Do you have any answers?
Well, he gave us the Guy Fieri one.
Yeah, Mike. Then
I also gave you one. Were you not here for that part?
I think I tuned out for a second.
He dozed off.
Okay.
Very late.
I mean, it is 1:43 a.m. I'm sorry. I don't remember what you said.
Take it on good credit. It was hilarious.
It was great.
It was the best that we've done. You'll check it out when the episode airs. It'll be great.
David,
I loved it.
Loved it.
That's good. That's good. Wait, no, I don't want spoilers. Come on. Don't spoil this episode of SBFVGS for me when I listen to it.
This very long episode of SBFVGS. Okay, let's wrap this up.
Yes.
Okay.
I know one Joseph Grimm.
Oh, one. You only know one?
I know one. I only know one. The one and only that I'm aware of.
Can there only be one?
It's very possible.
Oh, man.
just to be on the safe side, don't change your name to Joseph Grimm.
Yeah, just in case.
So I believe about the same time last year, he had a wedding anniversary.
Yes, he did.
And that's usually how anniversary is. Yes.
And his wife.
Yes, that's true. Both of them together, probably. And that's usually that's usually an annual event.
I think so.
So, I don't know. Adam, you and I had talked about this. Did you get a chance to reach out to anyone to see if we could do something special for that?
Yeah, so, last year we had, not only did we have Arnold Schwarzenegger make an appearance on the show,
right,
and sing a special anniversary song for Joseph, but we also had the Arnold Schwarzenegger from the future who time traveled back to also sing the duet, which was very cool of him.
Yeah, and he is here in New York right now. He's actually in my living room right now.
Yeah, so I of course I have Arnold here,
and I have Arnold here.
He has future Terminator Arnold there, and I think it's only fitting that we sing Shania Twain's "Still the One."
Now, let me just preface. New York City Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't know this song very well. So he's just going to do the background vocals. So.
All right. So, Arnold.
Wait, hold on. Wait, so let me just clear this out here before you bring them into the room, because I think this would be embarrassing.
He forgot the song.
Okay, I was going to say, but past Arnold knows and future Arnold doesn't.
Yes,
but it makes sense. It's been so long. In time travel, everyone knows time travel messes with your head and you forget Shania Twain songs.
It can be very disorienting. So.
Right. When you go back, you can't take anything with you, including your memory of Shania Twain.
That's right. It's the first thing to go.
Okay. All right. So, Arnold, if you please.
Yeah, I better get in position over here too.
All right. Hello, everybody.
How's it going?
Now we're going to... Yes.
Oh, Arnold, I'm so happy you could join us for this.
Yes. So I remember last year, and Arnold, you probably remember like 30 years ago or something like that. But anyways,
I'm not sure. Where are you going with this?
Now we're going to sing Shania Twain, "Still the One" for Joseph and his wife for 8 years of marital bliss. Marital. So
wait,
anyways,
give me one more take on that.
Funny.
Here we go. They've been married for a long time now.
Okay, cool.
And so anyhow. So I'm gonna skip into it a little bit, but here we go.
Okay.
They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on, still together, still going strong.
You're still the one.
Still the one I want to, one I belong to. You're still the one I want for life.
You're still the one.
Still the one I love, the one I own, the one I dream of. You're still the one I kiss. Good night, Joseph, and your wife. Thank you, Arnie. Thank you very much.
Arnold, wait, don't go. I've got a very important message for you about the future.
He's
your
gone.
Future.
He doesn't want to know. He's like Doc Brown. He's
don't,
like, nah.
Don't eat that cheese sandwich tomorrow. That's all. I've got to go now. Bye. Thanks, Arnold. I really hope you relay that message. It's very important.
I'm sure I will remember. I have a very excellent message.
Okay. Now, do you think when past Arnold hears future Arnold's message that he'll know that he means a sandwich and not a burger or a hot dog?
Well,
I mean, because how could he know? It could be any of them.
Well, I guess it could be a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I guess it could
be. Or a cheese dog. It could have been a cheese dog.
Oh, man.
Man, I guess we should probably use different words to describe these things. Oh, well, maybe we'll think of something in the future.
Oh, man.
Only future Arnie can tell us.
Yeah. So, Adam, do you have something to maybe sell us?
I think so. I mean, Mike, it's up to you. Do we have any more of the tweets? Have we wrapped it up?
No, we blasted those tweets.
We blasted those tweets.
Blasted through them Halloween style.
All right.
Halloween style blasting. I like it.
All right. So I think this episode's been going very long. We discussed possibly sharing an SBFVGS Spookum.
I think
what's your take, Mike?
I think we have a whole... Okay.
Spookum?
Adam clearly wants to do a quick spookum.
Yes,
So,
Spookum!
It's only 1:49 a.m. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
know,
that big a
and-
deal.
and
It's fine. You'll
not
be
like
fine, David.
it's not like
It's
Eric's
fine.
waiting for us. It's totally fine. Let me open up my inbox again because I had already closed it.
Well, no, you can share this one from memory. I want you to share your story.
You want me to
Mike.
share my spookum story?
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
I want to
goodness.
start out by saying no. I have no spooky stories.
You have
No,
spooky
I
stories?
have one, but I'm going to save it for next year.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody
good
wrote in about this, and I can't tell you who that is now because I closed all my notes. But
It's FKA J Biz.
J Biz. Okay.
John
FKA
Urbania.
J Biz. John Urbania.
He asked, "Have
Wrote
you
in.
guys ever experienced paranormal spoopies?"
Where did you get my
Yes.
Twitter questions?
Email. You emailed them to us.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now that's breaking the fourth wall here, but
No, we haven't addressed the audience directly yet. Actually, we do that the whole podcast, so whatever.
yeah. But I mean, you don't tell them how the sausage is made, maybe. So
You asked. What am I supposed to say?
yeah, it was a bit. What do you want me to do? Hold your hand through the joke.
All right, go for it. Go for it, Mike.
So spookum story. Okay, so I have a spookum story. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, I would.
Okay,
Nah,
I had a feeling.
I'm good. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
So-
and please tell me more.
Many moons ago,
Yes, and.
on a night not so different than this one,
Oh my gosh.
I moved in to a murder house.
A murder house.
Yeah, you might have missed that part with the background music.
No,
that
I
suddenly
didn't miss
kicked
it. I
on.
heard it all.
Yeah, I moved into. Now we didn't know this, right? So we bought this place and then got moved in, and then had a someone for the realty company, not our realty company, but the one that sold this place, like, oh hey, we kind of super forgot to disclose to you that maybe, like it's not a big deal, but maybe a little murder took place in there. And I was like, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Like, what happened in this house? And they're like, oh yeah, it was, I mean, not a big deal. Like, just maybe like somebody, killed their wife
Oh,
in that house. And it's like, oh, well, I do want new underpadding. Like, so can you get that taken care of for me so I don't have to, sue you for not disclosing all the stuff you're supposed to disclose? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, they are certainly supposed to tell you about a murder most
They
time.
are. So here's the thing. If now this is a pro tip, HUTV, you can use this for free. If you move into a house and you find out it's a murder house after the fact and they were supposed to disclose that to you, you can use that to get like goods and services that you wanted in the house but you couldn't afford when you first moved in.
now okay, is murder house the technical term?
I mean, it could be murder condo. It could be murder.
Murder apartment in my case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apartments are harder to buy these days, but
Well, I mean, what apartment
Not in New York,
hasn't
they're
someone
not.
been murdered
I guess they're
in?
technically called condos, but they're
Yeah,
the
that
same
would be-
thing basically.
I think for
Yeah, this is
apartments, someone has been murdered in each one of them. I
yes,
think
it's
it's
true.
a
They've been
pretty
around for
safe
long enough
assumption.
that you just assume, right?
Yeah.
guess
So,
Matter of fact, they have to disclose if no one's been murdered there.
Wow.
So you know how lucky you are.
I mean, the house I live in was built in 1890, so someone's been murdered in here since that time,
Absolutely.
right?
At some point.
Someone. I
pretty
mean,
old.
gosh, of all. What are the odds that nobody's been murdered in there? You know?
And we'll say
Slim to none.
Slim to none.
what are the chances that story was true? Well, when I decided to rip up the carpet to put new floors in, I found the spot it happened at.
Oh.
So thankfully the very nice young gentlemen that were ripping the carpet up with me that we had hired to put the new floors in were like, oh, it looks like you had an oil stain or something in your bedroom at some point.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's
I'm sure that's
glad
what
I-
it is.
I'm sure that's what it is. Let's not worry about that. So,
You didn't tell him?
No, absolutely not. You crazy?
You
I
didn't
want
tell
them
him there
to,
was probably a ghost in there somewhere?
Look, well, first of all, you never tell people they're doing work there's a ghost in your house because then they'll do shoddy work to get that done quickly and leave. Or they won't do the
fair
work at
enough.
all because they'll be very scared of the spookums.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And it turned out to be fun because it turned out the place was haunted. I mean, let's just get that out of the way, right?
That's
Obviously.
the very condo that we played Rock Band, David.
It really
What?
was. Yeah, you've been
You
in my
were
murder
there.
house.
You were in the murder house.
I didn't experience any strange goings on.
No. Here's the problem. You didn't stay late enough because, like all ghostly occurrences, it only occurred at the same time every night at 2 a.m. And it manifested by the ghost possessing my upstairs neighbor and having them vacuum at 2 a.m. every single morning so I couldn't sleep. So I had to move out of the murder house.
So it wasn't really a spooky.
Yeah. Oh man.
Now,
Not really a spooky because ghosts aren't real, David. But for the purposes of storytelling, I hope I took you to a place that was fun.
Well, I'm glad I'm wearing a hat in this episode because my hair is now bone white.
Mike, I'm just gonna say, I guess you haven't spent a whole lot of time on YouTube if you think ghosts aren't real.
That's true. I haven't spent enough time on YouTube.
He's calling you out.
All right.
Yeah, that's very true.
All right, you guys. That has been SBFVGS Spookums.
Yeah. Next year, we'll do it when it's not like almost midnight. And I will tell it with more gusto.
Do you mean
and more fervor.
Not almost 2 a.m.?
Yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah, I guess for some people.
So, you know what you can do if it is almost 2 a.m., and you can do it really any time of the day.
You could vacuum. Vacuum would be a thing you could do any time of the day, and you don't have to do it at 2 a.m. That is a thing
true.
you can do.
One time, I think that same ghost inhabited my upstairs neighbor to start playing the drums at full volume at 12 a.m.
Yeah, that's about right. It sounds like the ghost, after you visited my murder condo, may have followed you home.
Probably followed me, but just for one night, though.
Just for one night.
Well, now they're in New York City. It's a big place.
Yeah.
Also, you guys have
just hopping around from apartment to apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, you guys have Ghostbusters there, so ghosts.
Right. At least you have that.
They don't last long.
At least,
I don't know. I don't work.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Short work of them.
Yeah.
But vacuum cleaning at 2 a.m. Drumming at 2 a.m. Whatever it might be. All of those things are audible, you guys.
Yeah.
You mean as in they can be heard?
They can be heard.
Exactly. And you know what else is audible? audibletrial.com/SBFVGS, where you can go sign up for a 30-day trial. You get a free month. You get a free audiobook. It's fantastic. And it's good to do.
It's good and fun.
It is very fun.
And
so
good
you basically go to audibletrial.com/SBFVGS. You sign up. There's 180,000, we'll say, plus audio programs, books, what have yous. And you download a title free. You start listening. You can listen to something spooky like The Shining. Why not? By Stephen King. Have you heard of that?
Have I heard of The Shining or Stephen King?
To it, though.
That's very much about a man who's having the spookums. Maybe he kills his wife. Who knows? I can't say. It's a spoiler.
I've seen the movie and I still can't say what happened in that. So,
so anyway, you can get that free on audibletrial.com/SBFVGS. When you sign up, you support our show. We get a little kickback, little royalty from that. Helps keeps the lights on.
How's this a kickback?
This is a kickback right here. Milking the little audible teat.
Milking the teat. Okay.
Milking the teat of Audible. Just like anything, and we get the milk. We get the milk.
Yes.
And then we make it into a milkshake, and we drink it up.
Okay.
It's getting real weird, you guys.
Yeah.
There was madness in any direction.
All right, so here we are, the meat and potatoes topic for the evening. We have a very special guest, as mentioned earlier in the show, Eric Anderson from Cyan Worlds.
Woo!
How are you?
All right.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Nope.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it. So, just to dive right in, could you tell us just kind of how you got started in game development? What's your origin story?
Yeah. I went to college thinking I was going to go make big movies. Jurassic Park had come out when I was in high school, and it's like, I can go make dinosaurs or whatever. So I went and got a degree in like generic computer graphics, which at the time there wasn't a whole lot of good programs. And so I went to a fine art school in Minneapolis. I actually really liked the school I went to, but there was no such thing as a computer graphics degree. So I ended up getting an internship doing like commercial graphics work, like doing TV
Cool.
commercials and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
And graduated college in 98. In 2000, I was very fortunate to get hired at Cyan Inc., Cyan Worlds, whatever it was called at the time. I think they just called themselves Cyan at the time.
Okay, yeah.
And it was on like my short list of places that I would do anything to go work for. It was them, ILM, and Pixar.
Yeah.
And I got
solid,
picks.
a very
Yeah.
solid
Yeah.
list.
I think I got rapidly rejected by the other two. Of course, I was just out of school. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, that's high aspirations to shoot right for Pixar and ILM right out of college. I didn't
know any better.
Yeah,
I
no,
look back
it's
now
awesome.
and I'm like,
I love it.
Wow, I was an idiot. But so I got hired. As funny story, I actually got rejected first. On the wall of my office at Cyan, I keep my rejection letter in a frame. People come in and, yeah. And then they called me back a few months later. I think they forgot that they rejected me, and they said, "Hey, you want to come up for an interview?" And I was like, "Yeah." So,
that's awesome.
Started in 2000, and I have been on and off with Cyan kind of since then.
Okay.
Several breaks. I think I hold the record for the number of times laid off and rehired at the company.
Oh my God.
Man.
3 or 4 times ballpark, but we're still around. The company's still doing all right, and we've had a really good last year. Couple
that's
of years,
awesome.
I should say.
Yeah.
So I got hired there. I worked on a game called Uru. I don't have any of you guys are familiar with Uru or Myst Online?
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh, Myst
called?
Online,
Okay. Yeah. So we worked on that for a few years, and then our publisher decided that they didn't want to do online games, which when you're trying to ship an MMO is actually really bad news. So, so that didn't go so well. And then we did Myst 5, which was kind of built from the wreckage of Uru. It was the pieces we were going to put into Uru, and we were like, let's just make it a single player thing, and that was so. And then business was kind of going downhill, and we weren't getting a whole lot of bites from publishers and that sort of thing. Around about 2008 was one of those layoffs. I stayed in Spokane, and I did commercial, like freelance animation work. A lot of mattress commercials.
Specifically mattress commercials. I like it.
It's really, yeah. There was
I specialize. You can put that on a resume. I specialize in mattress commercial work.
I got laid off in 2008. For the next 2 years, I think I full time was making animated commercials for what's it called? Sleep Train.
It's a sleep train. Yeah.
So if you've seen
big time.
Yeah, if you see any
of
commercials,
the mattress world,
right.
Time.
So if you see commercials with like this train rolling through the landscape, like scaring people in their sleep or whatever, like that's
like
that
Tom's
was
train.
Probably some crap I did, and then
Man.
thankfully, if you can tell, I'm not a big fan of like advertising work. There's amazing, talented people, but I actually prefer to like tell a story and
Sure, yeah.
yeah. So, I was real fortunate in 2011. Jonathan Blow asked if I wanted to work on a game he was doing, and so I worked for 3 years on what became The Witness. And then
Very cool.
During that time, because we were thinking, we were going to ship this any day now, and I was thinking, oh no, I gotta find something else to do. The folks from Cyan who were still in town were talking about, well, why don't we do a Kickstarter? I mean, all these other, Double Fine had done Broken Age via Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Blew up really big, and that was all based on like nostalgia, gaming, and all that. So we ran a Kickstarter and for Obduction, and it did well. And then we went. And I spent the last 3 years doing Obduction. So
Wow.
Yep.
That's
That was
amazing.
cool. Yeah, I was curious about that, if there was overlap in between The Witness, because the Witness came out in January of 2016,
Yes.
and then Obduction hits in the summer in August, I think.
Yeah, no, we did
And-
it in 6 months. It was easy. Yeah, no, it was actually a lot of overlap.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. How did you make that work as far as, okay, I'm going over here, I'm doing this at night or whatever.
Yeah. So the full story there is we ran the Kickstarter in, I want to say it was October of 2013. And before we ran it, I talked to Jonathan, and I was like, hey, just a heads up, you're going to see this Kickstarter come out, and it's got my name attached to it, and I am not going to bail from the project. And at that time, he was like, we're shipping in 6 months. We're shipping this thing in 6 months. And I was like, no problem. I will be here until the end of the road. You got me. You can, count on me.
Yeah.
Well, so another 7 months went by and they were still nowhere near shipping. And I was like, listen, we're starting to ramp up. We gotta. And so I rolled. Most of the primary production work had been finished at that point. This was like summer of 2014.
Yeah. So as far as, I guess we should establish for the listeners who may not know, your role in both games would be an environment artist, correct? Or is there more to it than that?
Yeah, I mean, there's always more to it. My title right now is art director, so I run the entire production department for Cyan, and hired the team, and
very cool.
In charge of making sure things are up to snuff. And I ended up taking on, well, we'll get into that in a little bit. My job totally changed on Obduction. On The Witness, I was one of 3 primary world building or environment artists. We did not have an art director. It was just 3 of us working directly with Jonathan and the programmers, trying to make the look of the game and build everything and all that. So that was fun. That was a crazy project, but I'm really, really proud of everything we did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So The Witness, and anyone who's listened to our show will know that I raved about The Witness. I was like,
awesome.
I was so addicted to that game that I would take pictures of my PS4 the TV screen and like try to solve the puzzles in the image editor on my phone, like while I was at work and stuff, and be like, oh yes, Eureka, and so I would be, oh man, there was one week in particular where I was playing that game hardcore. My wife was sick, so I was just like sleeping on the couch downstairs to not get infected, and which meant that I had no accountability, and I was staying up till like 3 a.m. every night playing The Witness. And every day I would go into work. Mike and I worked together, and I would go into work, and he would see me. I looked like I had been out on a bender all night, and he'd be like, "Oh, The Witness again, huh?" Like, yeah. I'm not doing it tonight though. I'm gonna sleep tonight, and then I would do it again. It was bad. It was addiction.
You just couldn't help yourself.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to beat it?
I played it pretty hardcore for about a week to 2 weeks. It was probably a week and a half.
All right.
But I was playing like 3 or 4 hours a night. So I mean, it was a good chunk of time.
That's
man.
respectful. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost have the platinum on that. I may double back for it, but who knows? There's so much to play all the time.
Especially this year. Oh my goodness. This has been a crazy year. We've talked about it already on the episode, but gosh, crazy. Anyway.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, you mentioned Jonathan Blow approached you. Did he know of your work from just your time at Cyan, or?
Yeah. Actually, back then, one of our programmers at Cyan used to work with him years ago. And so he would say, oh yeah, back when I used to work with Jonathan or whatever. And I was familiar with him. I wasn't familiar with him prior to Braid, of course. And then when Braid came out, Braid got huge. And he was a huge name in the indie scene. And so he and I had actually been communicating for a couple years prior to that. I think when he was first spinning up The Witness, when he was ramping down on Braid and he was spinning up The Witness, he actually contacted me about moving down there and working on it then. And I was like, I'm not moving to San Francisco. That's just not in the cards. And I said, basically, when you get to the point where you need people to just do the manual labor and build the world, give me a ring. And and it was just one of those things. I think I reached out to him and said, hey, I'm looking for work, and he was like, oh, good timing, I'm looking for people. And it was like 2 weeks later I was working on the game. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So did you go and spend time there at the studio that you kind of see at the end of the game there?
Yeah. I mostly worked here. Obviously, this room actually is where I did all my work from.
Okay.
And so I would go down there from time to time just to meet with the team and that sort of thing. Yeah, I was actually in that studio the day of the launch of the game, which was really funny because after we had like a small launch party in San Francisco, we went to the office, and it was hilarious because they turned on PlayStation. I don't know what I actually don't own a PlayStation, so don't sue me, but I'm more of a PC gamer. The streaming service where you can just watch people play as they play the game.
Oh,
and it was hilarious because I was watching Jonathan Blow watch other players play The Witness, and like
They had no
commentary
idea.
over. He's like, no, you're screwing this puzzle up. And it was really funny. And I was telling the other programmers, like, I wish they had programmed in something so that like the game detected when Jonathan was watching you, and his head would just pop up from the corner of the screen.
That would be amazing. Just like a
Yeah,
judgy,
Blow
like,
is watching you play the
I
witness.
love that. And you know what? If Jonathan now knows about that idea, he's probably like in his genius lab cooking that up. So so I was a huge Myst fan way back in the day. Played it on PC, Windows 95, and then Riven as well. And then I kind of fell out of gaming for a while. And that's why when the Kickstarter for Obduction kind of took me by storm, and I was like, oh my gosh, please fund this game. And so
Really, me too. That's what I was saying too.
yeah. So I'm curious, like you mentioned that Cyan was on your short list of dream jobs, right? Of places you wanted to work really badly.
Yeah.
So did that come out of being a big Myst fan back in the day?
100%. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Myst came out when I was in high school. Actually, my senior year, I believe, is when Myst came out. In my first year of college, I have memories of myself and my first year like college roommates all gathered around my, I guess what was then a Power PC Mac. It was one of those like pizza box was my first one that I bought with my own money or whatever. Oh, man. And we'd just be huddled around the screen playing this silly game, and it hooked everybody.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
I just remember everyone taking notes and drawing diagrams and the whole thing.
Yeah, and that was back when the QuickTime video was like a big deal. Like, oh my god, it looks like real life. And, you look at it, it's like 320 by 240 video. Or whatever.
It's like a postage stamp now.
Yeah.
In the original Myst, couldn't like only a small section of the screen be video? Is that?
Yes, absolutely. And so like you'll transition, and there'll be like butterflies flying around, and they'll only fly within a certain area, and it's because that was the pixels that they were allowed to update. So I mean, for me, it hit at the perfect time because I was interested in computer graphics. Like I said, I was inspired by Jurassic Park and all these other, big CG blockbusters back then, because this was prior to Toy Story. So the idea of a full 3D animated feature hadn't quite hit yet. And the combination of Myst and seeing what pre-rendered graphics could look like at the high end, because of course, remember back then, those were like mind-bendingly good graphics.
Oh, they really were.
Combined with Pixar's movies, totally changed my trajectory. I lost kind of interest in doing film work and was like, wow, this full CG stuff is really, really interesting. So
that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. So, so I'm curious if you could expand a little on maybe the discussions, or I don't know if you were involved in them, but kind of the discussions leading up to the crowdfunding, going the Kickstarter route, because
sure,
I know that's something that, just looking at the history of the studio, for people who don't know, the first couple Myst games, big hits, and it looked like the third game was outsourced, right? It went to Ubisoft, and
three and four both were done completely outside. Yeah, 3 was done by Presto Studios, and 4 was done by Ubisoft Montreal, I think. And then then Uru became technically the next Myst game, and then Myst 5 came after that. So sure. Like I said, it was 2013. We actually started talking about this in 2012. And the person who needs the credit for this is actually our current producer, Ryan Warzeka. Back during the Uru days, he was our community lead, and he kind of did odd jobs around. He actually moved to Spokane as a Myst fan before ever getting hired, and we knew him. This is in the early 2000s. We knew him as like this guy who moved to Spokane because he's really into Myst. That's kind of weird. But then an opportunity came up at the company looking for, like, I believe it was an intern or an assistant or something, and he came in and did a great job, and over the years became an integral part of the company. He was still local, and he was the one who floated the idea, like, there's several of us still in town. We're all working odd jobs, or we're doing whatever. I was working on The Witness at the time. He said, why don't we get the band back together? Rand's here, and we floated the idea to Rand, and he and Tony, the president of the company, the two of them are sort of, run the company. And they were like, tell us more. Because they weren't really, they weren't plugged into the video game, industry stuff with like Kickstarter and all that. Mm-hmm. And so we showed them the numbers and showed them what these other Kickstarter projects had when they pitched, which in some cases they didn't have a lot. And they really got behind the idea. They were like, wow, maybe we could do something with this. And so we actually talked about it for a full year. I want to say it was fall 2012, and then we launched the Kickstarter in fall of 2013. And we met almost every week up at Rand's house. We literally would just drive up there and get together and sit around his table and pitch ideas. And for the longest time, it was actually going to be a Myst sequel. It might make you sad, but yeah, it was. We had a whole thing we were going to do that was a Myst related project, which would be, someday I hope we still get to do it because it would be a cool game.
Yeah.
And Rand was the one. I want to say it was probably 9 months into this whole discussion project. He came in one day and he was like, guys, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do a Myst sequel.
Oh, man.
And it was because of all the baggage, right? So you've got story baggage, you've got mechanical baggage, which is, and we ran into this a lot on Uru and Myst 5, the linking, like linking books, right? Mm-hmm. How do they work? Like, supposedly there's all these rules, and if something moves, if the linking book moves, does the player end up in the same place, the same destination? There's all these like logistical issues that come up, and he was like, I don't want to go back into those discussions of how do we work around it. And then if you've played Myst 5 or Uru, there's this creature they introduced called the Borrow, which can link itself, can sort of teleport wherever it wants. And we were like, let's not go there. And we had been kicking around this other idea called Obduction for literally about 10 years. It had been kicking around the company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it had gone through several major iterations. It started out life as sort of a way to try to compete with Halo and other sci-fi shooters that were really popular at the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then from there it morphed into this weird tongue-in-cheek comedy version of that. It was actually, it's hard to even discuss it now because I can't really imagine Cyan producing that kind of a game.
Yeah.
But it was a whole comedy thing for a while. That was like a reality show about an old man trying to get his dog back from aliens. That was literally the plot. And then when we brought it up again, we were like, well, what if we took some of the core ideas, which was really just like you're interacting with otherworldly species, but we tried to pull some of the core design pillars back to what made Myst and Riven so unique and so memorable for people. And that's what we pitched. Is it's not a sequel, but it is a spiritual successor, right? It's the same components. And I feel like we did that because I've heard a million people say, the first hour of the game, they're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm playing Myst again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that was something that I wasn't sure how similar it was going to be to that Myst feel. And having been a big fan, I was hoping it'd be somewhere close, but I was just kind of cool with whatever they want to do. Like, I'm just happy that I'm getting this game. And then I started playing it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is totally 100%. That's awesome. Yeah, so I was loving that aspect of it. But yeah, I wrote a review for our site about, all about the game. I love that the soundtrack, same composer as the original Myst games, Robin Miller.
Yep.
And yeah, there was so much there that just felt like the original games. And yeah, of course, being full motion, like Myst 5, but with modern, Unreal Engine 4 and the whole 9 yards. So, yeah, it's definitely, you guys deserve some kudos because it definitely lived up to my very high expectations for the game. So
I appreciate that.
Definitely.
Something that surprised me the most about the game was I think I played there was a demo before the game came out or something, right? Was there some sort of pre-release thing? Am I crazy? I don't know. I played a small snippet of the game somewhere.
It was at some. I know we had it at some trade shows, so you might have been at a PAX or something, maybe
Comic-Con.
I don't know. Maybe I watched someone play it. Maybe there was a video snip online. Anyway, my memory's not very good, but
this is all super critical to the story. I'm sure
this is all very important to the story. I'm about to say. When someone walked up to one of those little hologram things and you saw a full motion video of like actors like delivering lines. Like that was like I was so sure there would be no full motion video, and then there was, and I was so like I was delighted, you know, like I was so happy.
Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah,
that's a fantastic point because it's something that you really don't see very much anymore.
Right. And people fall into two camps on that, by the way. They either think it's amazing and like this cool nostalgic throwback, or they're like, it's 2016. What are these idiots? Yeah.
It is, and I would have raged if it wasn't there.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
Yeah.
So the story behind that is originally, like when we were having our, weekly meetings and we were like, here's what we're going to do. It was going to be full 3D, like, awesome characters or whatever, right? And then we ran the Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter, by all accounts, did amazingly well. I think 1.3 million was our take on that, which sounds awesome. Unless you know anything about video game production. 1.3 million is like barely enough to make a mobile game. It's really not that much money, and we ended up having to reach outside for outside investment to finish and everything. But as a result of sort of our budget and then the production schedule as we began making the game, we had to downscope drastically. And one of the first things that we were looking at, like, hey, what can we do to make this more approachable? And the very first thing on the list was like those CG characters that we were going to spend, have a whole team of people just doing characters or whatever. How can we cut corners? And the proposal sort of, I think it was kind of a joke proposal at first, like, well, we could always do full motion video. And then we were like, actually. And so we shot those with stereo camera so that they actually are. If you play in the Oculus Rift, you actually have stereo depth.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that part.
Yeah. And we could have done a better job. We did it, literally at the company. We shot the footage in our basement and processed it there and everything. And we were limited by resolution for tech reasons and performance reasons and all that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think it looked all right for what we're known for.
Like it makes so much sense for it to be full motion video. So, and and the holographic stuff that you did around it is actually really cool too.
I was going to say the holograms I actually think are pretty successful. I agree with people's critiques about the man in the window. It's like maybe could have been better, but it worked.
yeah, definitely. So as far as I was wondering if you could kind of compare and contrast, because I know The Witness has this very surreal, very saturated kind of look to it. Yeah. And Obduction, very much more grounded look to it. What were some of the kind of art and design philosophies for Obduction?
Sure. We talked very early on at the beginning, what is the art style going to be? And there was, maybe we should go more stylized, more like The Witness, more flat shaded, more cartoonish or whatever. And I really pushed to try to keep it in sort of the wheelhouse of the Myst style, what I consider the Myst style. And we always talk about it as being, surreal photoreal, right? We're aiming for photorealism where we want our objects to be shiny and feel rough and have texture, but it's sort of amped up. It's not. We're not trying to recreate a photograph. We're trying to make beautiful places that you really want to explore and that have surprising visuals. And there's actually quite a lot of color, I think, in certain places of Obduction. Other places are more muted, but like Hunrath, it's like big purples and pinks and a bright purple sky and all that. And so a lot of it was really just, kind of basic color composition. It was trying to draw people's attention using color and contrast and all that. And then also to give the four ages or the four worlds sort of their own palette and their own unique visual identity. And so a lot of that was very intentional. There's a reason we have a blue world and a green world and a red world and that was very intentional from the beginning. Yeah, I don't know. I think the visual intent on Obduction was more just like, let's make it as pretty as we can and draw people in. Whereas the visual direction on The Witness was 100% focused on the gameplay. Everything in that game was all about focusing the player's attention where it needed to be focused and reducing visual noise everywhere else. And so they had very different goals in mind.
That's interesting. Yeah, there is something about kind of to what you're saying, the surreal photoreal thing. Like I first got that super Myst feeling when I got into I think it was the second world, and I'm blanking on the name. But the kind of the very machine-y
foggy
kind of
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's called Captar. We call it the Chain Age when we were working on it. Like the names, the alien names kind of came from Rand and Rawa. They came later. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, so, but that one, it was the funniest moment too. I got to the bridge part, the very first bridge after you kind of warp there, and there's this super narrow looking long walkway. I was like, oh, it's a Myst walkway. I don't know what it's so funny. It's like these little touches all throughout that really bring that old feel back. So it was really, really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, so as far as, you touched on the Oculus a bit. Is that one Oculus playability that's available now, correct?
Yeah. It's actually the game actually launched like a little over a year ago on PC, and then our VR update came not too long after. It was a couple months after. So we've been on Oculus and Vive for almost a year, and then we just launched about 2 months ago on PlayStation 4, and our PSVR update is coming out very soon.
Nice.
We're
That's
dealing
awesome.
with certification stuff right now, but
Yeah.
So
looking
we've
forward
actually
to
been
that.
awesome.
I have
Cool.
one, so
Yeah, he's a PSVR guy. I played it in old fashioned old man 2D.
Now, I mean, the PSVR. This isn't not to disclaim, but I'm going to disclaim. The PSVR in terms of horsepower is nowhere near like a high end PC VR rig. So
I'm sure. Yeah.
the visual element will not look as good as it does in 2D. So that's just,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty used to
Nature of the
that by
beast.
now. Like I played Resident Evil 7. I tried out VR mode. I tried out the full mode, and like obviously the full mode looked prettier, but I preferred the VR anyway because it just felt more like I was in there, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm looking forward to it. So
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's one of kind of a big batch we talked about last episode where there's this huge push coming to PSVR, and you guys are going to be right in the middle of it, which is awesome. A bunch of new games, new titles,
Awesome.
or expansions on existing games. So really cool. As far as that, because a lot of the PSVR games that are out right now, it's like Batman or it's these smaller experiences. Whereas like David just played through Resident Evil 7, in VR, and loved it. And
I want more full
it is
VR
a full
games.
game.
Yeah. We actually got a lot of good press when we first launched our VR update on Oculus and Rift for being like, wow, these guys are one of the first large size games to actually support VR, because prior to that it seemed like all the VR games you could buy were more like tech demos. They were more focused.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was cool. And we were still figuring things out. We drastically changed our VR navigation after the first release and implemented a whole new system and all that. So yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. As far as from a design standpoint, I've heard it's not, you don't just click the checkbox that says enable VR, right? No. You kind of have to like really plan for it. And what are some of those challenges? I mean,
so like navigation is the number one challenge. And when we first started, when we pitched it, we didn't, like, the industry didn't know what the standards were. In fact, the Oculus Rift DK1 had just come out when we started talking about the Kickstarter, and like, people didn't know, like, oh, there's certain things you just shouldn't do. You probably shouldn't move the player a whole lot, or you probably shouldn't, do a bunch of combat, or you
just make them terribly nauseous.
Yeah, it was like a nausea simulator. So we actually, some of that was just we were very fortunate, because when we one of the early features that we decided to put in the game was what we called a node system, which mimicked the way Myst and Riven worked, where you could just click to walk to the next position, right? And that was intentional because we knew we had a lot of fans who maybe hadn't played games in the last 15, 20 years and weren't familiar with, WASD keys or even a like an Xbox style controller. And so from the get-go, we had a node system in place where you could literally play the entire game with just a single mouse click, and you would just warp from one place to the next. And it would, really cool. On the PC version, it would interpolate your movement, and everything was still full 3D. But when we decided, oh, okay, well, we need to get VR support working. How are we going to get navigation to work? We already had a system in place to let the player essentially warp from one position to the next. And so our first implementation of movement was actually just leveraging our existing node system. So you could look around in 3D, and then we'd have these hotspots light up, and you would click and teleport to the next spot. We would take out the moving transition to not make people sick.
Right. Yeah.
But in the intervening couple years, like all of this new dynamic teleportation system stuff started cropping up. And so shortly after our initial VR release, we implemented a whole new dynamic teleportation system where you have sort of a trajectory and you can decide where you're going to we call it the P stream because it looks like a P stream.
Like the Calvin on the back of the truck being on
exactly, yeah. So we implemented our P stream system. Cut that part out if you know.
TM, yeah.
And it's so now we can you can teleport wherever, and it's great. And that seems to be sort of the standard now for VR games, where you can teleport around. But thankfully, the nature of the game doesn't change, right? It's not a game that's all about swiftly moving from place to place. It's a game about deliberately moving in a mostly static environment and really observing your surroundings. And so we could get away with a little bit more in terms of slowing the pace down and not worrying as much about certain performance issues. So kind of helped in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, that's very cool. So PSVR version, you say, is coming soon?
Soon, yeah. I wish I could give you a date, but the fact of the matter is some of it is out of our hands. It's up to, getting approval from their certification systems and all that. So
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Can I assume that's the same system that's holding up your Vita release?
Yeah, when
you can just say yes if you want to. I mean,
yeah,
when is
I think that's coming out
to
right after the Game Boy release of the game. I think that's still in the pipe somewhere.
So, are you guys? I don't know if you can talk about this, but are you guys looking at any other platforms? I know you have PC, Mac, Linux. Is it?
There's talk of Linux. The Linux thing I can speak to because we get that question a lot from. I think there's 5 guys, and every 5 days they ask us about the Linux thing.
Very vocal minority.
Yeah. Honestly, that part of it's not really up to us because we're Unreal Engine, and when we started the Kickstarter at the time, they were saying, "Oh yeah, it'll run on Linux," but their Linux support just isn't that great, and so we're sort of at their mercy. Like if the engine decides to support Linux in a more robust way, then it would be fairly trivial for us to get it ported over Linux. But as it stands right now, I don't think that's on their roadmap. Regarding the other consoles, the official answer, which is true, is that we would never rule out anything. It's kind of a matter of how many cycles we have. We're still a very small company. We only have 4 engineers. So there's only so much we can handle at any one time. And the PlayStation, we're still getting off our plate, and we're trying to ramp up on a new project. And, it's hard to find, like right now, I wish I could find programmers to come help me out on my day-to-day, but they're still dealing with PlayStation Obduction-related issues. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I guess my final question that I have is, when can I have Obduction 2?
I think I can officially say that we're not currently working on Abduction 2.
Okay.
We are working on a new thing. I'm trying to remember what Rand's pitch is because he talks about this on interviews a little bit. So I gotta try to get in line with his messaging here. But and it's all true. He and I are working on a new project, and it is a project that hinges upon new players knowing next to nothing about it.
Oh, okay.
And we've even joked that if we ever, we're talking to people about, getting it out into the world, but if we ever, did decide to do a Kickstarter or something for it, it would be kind of a weird Kickstarter campaign because we kind of wouldn't be able to say anything. What? We'd have to say, hey, we want to go make a game and we can't tell you anything about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
a tough sell.
I feel like if there's one studio that could pull that off, it's you guys, because that's what makes Myst and Obduction and all these games kind of magical, is that you're dumped in and you know nothing. And that is kind of the appeal that makes you start exploring and wanting to know.
I think,
about it.
I joke about like, oh, we can't can't really tell anybody anything about it. But the fact of the matter is, there's big games that do that all the time. Even if you look at The Witness, the most interesting thing about The Witness, you can't tell anybody about. They have to experience it for themselves.
For sure, yeah.
And so this is sort of in that same vein, but the big thing is, it's of course I can say it's more of a story-based experience. Of course, it's all built around interesting, crazy, cool places that you explore. It's definitely right within our sort of specialties. And I really hope we get a chance to ship it because it's pretty cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Eric, thank you again for being on the show with us. It's been a huge, a great time, a huge privilege. Definitely appreciate it. So, and we'd love to have you back sometime.
Awesome.
Anytime.
Yeah, it's been fun. Anytime you guys want to chat,
nice.
Give me a ring. I really appreciate having me on too. And thanks so much for your enthusiasm about the game. It means a lot to me and the other folks at the studio to see people getting what we do.
Yeah, so, Adam may be Obduction's biggest fan ever in the world.
Yeah, so
he talks about it at least once an episode.
At least once an episode. Yeah, so if you don't have Obduction, go buy Obduction on Steam or on PlayStation 4. So
or soon to be PSVR or Oculus or whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Yeah. We're in all the big online stores, so.
There you go.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so end of the show plugs. Eric, where can people find you online?
I'm on Twitter at EAA, spelled out, so EDOUBLEA. And Cyan is at Cyan Worlds, I think. And that's probably the best place to follow what I'm up to. I tweet every so often and I retweet all the time and promote company stuff and personal stuff and all of that. So
nice.
Very cool. Very cool. And you can keep up with us at SBFVGS.com. You can find our episodes, social media, YouTube, merchandise, and more there. If you get a chance, leave us an iTunes review, or you can support the show by signing up for a free audiobook on audibletrial.com/SBFVGS. And a very special thanks to the other Eric Kruger, for our podcast logo, or for our podcast logo, and for his handsome face,
I'm sorry, Eric. That doesn't make any sense to you, but
so I'm just pretending he's talking about me.
He's very well. You are also very handsome. You know what? I got to double up these ums. Yeah. I mean, you won't come back now, but now you're both coming.
It's like, yeah, it went great, and then it got real weird.
It got super weird. Like they're really, really into Obduction, guys. Like maybe
maybe too into it.
And you can also follow us on Twitter at SBFVGS Podcast. I'm Barry White. Mike is Taco Douglas. David is David J. Tate. You can check our Twitter profiles for PSN, Xbox Live, Switch info if you want to play games with us. And that's all the time we have for Spooky Best Friends Video Game Sleepover, episode 81. It's our Halloween Spectacular.
Yes.
So thank you again for listening and or watching, and we'll be back every 2 weeks with more incredibly tough but fair talk on gaming.
What?
It's an Obduction.
What does that mean?
Tough but fair talk. I mean, I know what it means.
Tough but fair. Hit us up with your questions, topics, or musings if you want to be part of the show. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Yay.
You know what? I got to double up these ums.
Double up.